Hello again, it's your boy Davidoff. Welcome back to Movie Monday. Today we're watching War for the Planet of the Apes after watching obviously Rise and Dawn. Still confusing why Rise is the first movie and Dawn's the second. Well, what are the decisions behind those names? That is the question of today. But anyway, yeah, these are essentially the movies that got Matt Reeves the job for the Batman, and he did a great job for that. I don't think it was just these movies, but I think he played a big part for sure. Like, he could tell a great story with about apes about apes evolving from a drug that was made to destroy Alzheimer's in humans. Instead it destroyed humans as a virus and it made apes smarter, and this whole concept just turned into this amazing cinematic trilogy of 3 movies that all felt different in tone and pace, and they were also great in their own way, and visually got better as well. Like, you gotta think, these are guys in suits. Andy Serkis is in a suit playing the main character in a mocap suit, and they're making that look like an actual ape, like with the CGI and stuff and practical effects. It's just incredible what they achieve with that. And on top of that, you got these great characters and great stories from both humans and apes, from talking apes, and it's just like, it's this incredible thing they've created. So I'm watching my computer. I've actually got it on digital. I had Dawn on digital as well. I've got quite a big library. The only issue is I've got digital on YouTube. Okay, so here's the issue of YouTube digital. Okay, here's the T. So I got a nice library. Most of these came with a copy of the Blu-ray or the DVD. They stopped doing it in England for some reason. In the UK now, you don't get digital copies anymore if you buy the physical copy, which is really annoying. You got to buy them separately. But most of these came with a movie from a while ago, and the newer ones I actually bought it on digital myself. So the main issue with these is when you actually click on them, so I'm about to watch the movie, it doesn't load in 1080p or even 720p. This is a big issue. That's what I wonder, because like, why? Because you're buying these in HD, like it tells you what resolution you're buying it in. You can buy HD, you can buy 4K depending on the movie, but like, there are some movies actually work. It works in HD on YouTube, but most movies it doesn't, and it's just like really weird. And to watch it in HD, what you got to do is you got to go on the Google Movies app. So the Google Movies has its own app that I think kind of like shut down a bit, but it still works. So they have their own website / app. Over there, you can watch it in HD. You got to go to Google Movies, even though YouTube is owned by Google. For some reason, if you buy it on YouTube, you can't watch it in 1080p on a computer. Because if you load this same video on YouTube on your phone, it does actually have HD. So what's going on? What's that about? I'm very confused. So you can watch it in HD on YouTube, but on your phone, not on your computer. Instead, you got to go to Google Movies and watch it in HD on there. What's the point of YouTube having a movie section if you're just going to do that? Like, what's going on? You think people... I mean, to be fair, it's probably made mainly for TVs. So, I mean, if you do this on a TV, you will get HD. You'll get HD on the TV. So if a TV has YouTube, you can get it in HD. But still, I feel like people would watch... Like, they should know that people watch these on computers. So why would they remove HD for computers? Regardless, I'm going with Google Movies. No, they actually have deleted it. Google Movies does not exist anymore. There used to be an app called Google Movies, and I can't even speak. There was an app called Google Movies and TV, and I'm aware they deleted it years ago, but I still had it after it was deleted, supposedly. So maybe because I had the app already and I didn't delete it, maybe that's why. But it was still working. I guess it just saves your library or whatever, but like, I didn't download anything, but it still worked. But yeah, I looked for it, it wasn't there. It said Google TV, so is that what the new app is now? So I went on the website, and Google TV is just a thing you got to get a Chromecast for, you connect to your TV. It's not a website you log into to get your movies. So instead I'm on Google Play's website, literally the Google App Store has its own website, and I can check my library through there, and I can also play the movie through there. So that's good. So now we're going. I'm currently reading the text at the start of the movie, referencing the movie titles of Rise and Dawn of the first couple of movies. Basically the text explained how the war started, because of Cobra, a rebel ape that decided they did not want peace of humans, decided to attack humans. and Caesar knew that humans would not forgive because obviously they're animals to them, and that makes sense. They are literally animals, obviously very intelligent. But yeah, and this kickstarted this war, and even though Caesar doesn't want this war and has killed the one that started it, he can't reason with the humans enough. So you know, that just, it is how it is. But yeah, the military base they contacted at the end of the movie to help them. A detail I didn't realize was actually that military is the remainder of the US Army, which is interesting because there's another army in this movie. So what are they? Were they like Marines? Were they Navy? And why were they against each other? Or maybe they're just both from the army, they're just split up. I mean, I guess the military could just be Army, Navy and Marines combined actually. They could just combine it and split into two. The element I found very interesting about this movie when I first watched it was there were apes helping the humans. Like the humans had smart apes on their side. So these apes were betraying other apes. Interestingly, these are mainly apes that supported Cobra, I guess. I think, as far as I remember, which is ironic considering Cobra wanted to kill humans. But yeah, it was interesting seeing apes on human side helping the humans out. The humans not really respecting those apes anyway, but just, you know, they're willing to help those humans. I just thought that element was pretty crazy when you consider, you know, the fact that obviously there's this big war raging on between apes and humans, but for some reason there were apes willing to help the humans. I just thought this interesting detail, and I feel like that's an interesting element that they added into this. I like how they captured this war as well, because you see both sides suffering. You see apes getting gunned down, but you also see humans taking spears, and you know, like a significant amount are dying on both sides. And obviously there's not many humans left in the world anyway, and even though there's quite a lot of apes, you know, it's not like it's in the millions or billions, as far as I know anyway. It is just, obviously this is just in America, obviously in the worldwide I assume. I mean, I don't know, because this virus obviously started in America and then spread over the world, but like it would have to, how would apes get smart in other parts of the world when the drug was only in America? So surely only the apes in America would be smart, unless I'm missing something, unless it went airborne, and I don't know. Wouldn't all the apes outside of America just be the same as before? These are questions I need answered, because I'm fairly certain the new one also happens in America as well. But also, like in the new one, humans have regressed because of the virus mainly. They regressed over time, so it takes place like hundreds of years later, 150 years I think. So it's quite clear, you know, obviously the apes tend officially take over the world, so I guess it's not America anymore. And humans are known to not talk as well in the new movie coming up. Obviously this is not the same. This one you start to see the signs of it, where the virus will not only kill humans but regress them, you know, make them dumber. And you see that towards the end of this movie, and then obviously by Kingdom, which is hundreds of years later, all humans just can't talk, they live like wild animals. It's a crazy reverse. And then I'm pretty sure a human talks in the new one, so they gain intelligence back. This whole concept is crazy. It's a shame Matt Reeves couldn't stay on, but I really hope that the new one is good, because this is a perfect trilogy, doesn't need a sequel. But I'm on board because of the fact that it takes place many years later, so I'm interested to see that world of what the ape planet is like centuries later, and what humans are like, and the fact it's still there as well. I like how even after this war is broken out, even though Caesar knows that, you know, this war of humans has started and humans won't forgive, he still has this small amount of faith in humans, even in his enemy. The Colonel, we haven't seen him yet in this film yet, but Woody Harrelson plays the Colonel. He wants the woods, he wants to be safe while Cobra's mistakes are still haunting them. This Colonel was sending his army to try and kill them, trying to kill him. They after this first battle is over, they have 4 human prisoners. They all think that he will kill them. He decides to let them go. Maurice is like, would have given the message about leave us the woods and the killing can stop. Caesar's like, they are the message. he will see that we are not savages. But like, probably at least half the army thinks you are savages because they see you as animals, which you are animals. To them, you'll always be animals, no matter how smart you get, how much you talk. To them, you know, you're still animals that talk, and that's how it'd be in real life as well. If this is a real thing, I would still see them as animals as well. That's what they're apes. That's what they are. So like, but Caesar still has faith in this human perspective, and he's kind of showing faith in this colonel who's been trying to kill him, and has been killing his apes through his army. It's just like, even towards the end, he still has this ounce of faith towards humans. Sometimes it's blind faith, but he has this ounce of faith. And well, I mean, clearly, as we find out later, this part, this message doesn't work, I guess. So, and I'm aware another ape also betrays him, and that will come up. So, that's very, very frustrating. This is the movie where his son dies. I don't want to see that scene. Blue Eyes is going to die. The story that Blue Eyes has had in this franchise is amazing, and he's going to die. He's not going to see the promised land. That's so sad. That's just so bloody sad. Like, the first movie was directed by someone else, but Dawn and this one, both directed by Matt Reeves, and he directed the Batman. This guy knows how to do a story. It's also confirmed by Caesar that the apes helping the humans were on Koba's side, which again is also ironic, because Koba wanted humans dead, so the followers of Koba are on human side against apes. It's just like, I know obviously like Caesar and Koba were against each other. Obviously followers of Koba, you know, they'd have a reason not to go back with Caesar, so they have to go somewhere else, and I guess humans are the only place they can turn. I wonder how that conversation even happened. Like, how humans are out to kill them. How did they manage to make a deal with humans? I'm very confused by how that played out. Like, where did this happen? How did this happen? I would love to see this scene. I've just seen Blue Eyes for the first time. Oh no. Cornelia dies in this one. Also Rocket died in the last one. So many good characters that didn't survive to the end. Even the gorilla in the first movie. It's just that the fact they reached the promised land at the end of the trilogy, where they would be finally safe from humans and from anything, and then some of the best characters didn't even make it all the way. It's sad. And I've only just started the movie, but I'm just remembering the rest of it now, and I'm just thinking, yeah, damn, this is depressing. This is very depressing. That scene when the colonel and his men infiltrate Caesar's base, it's so sad, man, because you could tell, like, Winter was the betrayer. He's the one giving the info. It's quite clear. Like, he had the ape that was helping a human. He said the ape attacked him. He was in on it. Snow was in on it. And then Blue Eyes, Caesar's son, was looking for a new home for them to get away from the humans. He found a home. He came back, told them about it, told them where it is. It's a long journey. Humans won't find us there. This is the promised land they eventually reach. His son Blue Eyes just went on that journey, went on that adventure to find this new place. And Snow was like, let's go, let's leave tonight, let's go, let's go. And he was so adamant on it. And then we later find out Snow was the betrayer. He knew something was coming, so he was trying to get the apes out before then. So even though he made a deal with the humans, he was still trying to get the apes out, but he still betrayed them, of course, which we find out later on. But yeah, we soon find out. We soon find out about Snow. We soon find out. Caesar soon finds out, and the colonel comes there to assassinate Caesar, and he leaves his son, son, protect your mum and your brother, younger brother, baby brother. Protect him. And also you meet Lake. You meet Lake, who is Blue Eyes' love interest. So Caesar's son has a love interest, so he can have potential grandchildren, they can have children. So there's this whole family vibe, and it's amazing. And they tear it all apart, because the colonel comes to kill Caesar, and he kills his son. And Caesar left this place. Caesar was there, and he left the place to go and look for the colonel, because he knew they were there, he knew something was wrong. And he left that place, but the colonel went to that place to kill him, but instead killed his son and his wife. So Cornelia and Blue Eyes gone just like that. It's so sad. Blue Eyes at least saw the promised land, but he didn't get to go there with the apes. Cornelia just heard about the promised land, didn't get to go because she died. Baby brother survived though. Baby brother ran away, survived. But that's just really sad. That's just really sad. So now we're at the point of the movie where Caesar's like, Lake, look after, you love my son, look after his brother. I'm not coming with you. He's saying, all the apes, you go to the promised land. He's gonna go look for revenge. So he's, even though he's been sympathetic towards humans, kind of having faith in them, his faith was destroyed. He sent prisoners back. The colonel responds to that by going to his home and murdering his family. So he's gonna channel his dark side and seek revenge, channel his inner cobra, I guess. And in the end, the way the colonel dies is not what you expect, but it's fitting for how the franchise went. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that scene. But yeah, a whole 2 hours left in this movie and I've talked so long, but there's so much to talk about in this film. It's such a great film and such a great franchise. I hope the new one is great, and it's going to be a new story, I guess, but I hope there's references to Caesar at least. Did I mention Rocket died? I'm sorry, I meant Rocket's son died. Rocket, was it son or daughter? I can't remember. Rocket's child died. I forgot that. But I love Rocket, Maurice, and Caesar, man. I don't remember the gorilla's name, to be honest, in that squad of 4. But they are such incredible characters, especially Caesar. Like, not only did they make him look real, they bloody made them good characters as well on top of that. What a trilogy this is. I almost forgot about Bad Ape. Bad Ape was an interesting character. The way he talks is just really funny. Some of the scenes in this is just hilarious from Bad Ape. But I mentioned earlier, like, is it just those apes from the facility and from the ape sanctuary that, you know, contained this gene and their descendants, or did the rest of the world, like, are the rest of the world apes still normal? But then I completely forgot that Bad Ape is from a zoo and he is not part of their Caesar's community. So he is an ape from a different area completely, from a zoo, and this ape learned to talk. So maybe it's possible that humans spreading the virus all over the world also would have spread it towards apes. So maybe apes everywhere are smart in this world. Maybe, but I'm not sure. I'm curious. I'm curious to know how the world, what's going on in the world outside of America in this franchise. I guess we'll never find out because the next one is elsewhere. A big detail I don't remember, Bad Ape has a son, Bad Ape has a child, but he just mentions it. You don't actually see this child, which makes sense. I would have remembered if we did, I think. But apparently there's comic books around this trilogy. There's comic books based around this universe. And in those comics, some of those comics, Bad Ape's son is in it. That's interesting. So there's graphic novels about this franchise. That's interesting. Maybe that would answer some of my questions if I was to read it. I feel sad for that gorilla. That gorilla. That obviously you got Maurice, Rocket, and the gorilla. I've forgotten his name. Sorry, I should know his name. But Caesar decided to go on his own to get revenge, and they went with him. And the gorilla giving that flower to the girl. Obviously, they took a girl under their wing. She's affected by the virus, so she can't speak. So they adopted her as one of theirs. So she's even though she's a human, she's one of theirs. She even makes it to the promised land later on, which is interesting. Like, how does that work if she's not actually an ape? She just lives with them, and that's it. I'm curious about that. But anyway, yeah, the gorilla gave her a flower, and then the gorilla dies. It's a brutal world. Gorilla dies on the same day, I'm fairly certain, and she grieves over him. This whole franchise is depressing, man. For everyone, like for humans and for apes, and it shows evil humans, evil apes, good humans, good apes, and it shows really sad and brutal ways of both humans and apes dying. It's just, it's a cold world. And I say this when there's snow in most of this movie as well, but it's no pun intended, but it is a dark, cold world in this universe. I'm so glad it's not real. As soon as the gorilla dies, he's just like, it was a mistake bringing you here, ditches Maurice and Rocket, and he goes and finds that all the apes that he sent to the promised land, they were captured by the soldiers, and they are there at this base, either tortured to death or forced to work to build something. And then Caesar himself gets captured to be imprisoned with his apes. He finally goes face to face with the house and they have a conversation. along with a traitor gorilla and a soldier that he actually spared at the start of the film, thinking it would send a good message. What's even sadder is Caesar was blinded by a bit by revenge, and Maurice was just like, you know, you sound a bit more like Cobra now. He's just like, they must pay to the gorilla dying. And then eventually you get to this scene where he's thrown into the prison with the rest of the apes. And all the apes, apart from his son and apart from the female that his other son loved that died, apart from those two, everyone's turning away from Caesar. Because from their perspective, he's ditched them. And they've been captured while he's not there, and they've not been fed well, they've been forced to work, and, you know, Caesar wasn't there to protect them, so you can kind of understand, you know, why they would not necessarily turn on Caesar, but also kind of like go away from his leadership. So, yeah, he's thrown into prison with his apes, but his apes don't even trust him anymore, so it's just sad, and all because, you know, he had the right not the right instinct, but like he wanted revenge for the colonel killing his son and wife. That's a fair emotion for an ape to have, and even for a human to have. I love how when Caesar shouts, people and apes listen. In this one he shouts, "Leave him!" and the apes start following him again. Like in the first one he said, "No!" and all the apes are shocked in the sanctuary. What was the other one in Dawn? Yeah, "Go! Go!" He went from no to go to leave him. He always has these one-liners that really demand your attention, even the audience. I forgot to mention as well, like, the colonel is killing some of his soldiers because they have this flu. He knows about the flu that makes him stupid, that makes him stop talking, so that's pretty interesting. So there's this other military force that's coming towards them to meet with them, right? And Caesar thinks that maybe, oh, they're coming there to make an alliance and to destroy the apes for good. But it turns out, the twist is, the other military are actually coming to fight the colonel's armies. So even in these times, which also is realistic as well, I think, even if this happened, even in these times, humans cannot get along, even in this time. There's this whole military unit, there's another military unit coming along that's going to fight them, mainly because of the colonel. They don't like the colonel, but yeah, there's two military units and they can't ally themselves. They want to fight each other. So even now, even after all this has happened, all these years, humans are still destroying each other, not just through the virus. It's something else. And obviously through Cobra and other characters, apes also have been destroying each other. And this franchise kind of shows how much alike these two species really are, with the storytelling. So Woody Harrelson's Colonel character explains his motivations. His son got sick, his carer got sick, and he decided to kill his own son, and he was ordering his soldiers to kill their loved ones who were also infected. They refused. He killed those soldiers. Some soldiers with families tried to escape. One of them escaped and went to his superiors, so it is part of the same army, but his superiors are a different unit. And ran off and told his superiors, and he basically said, if you want to relieve me of my duties, you come here and do it yourself. And that's what this war is. It's a civil war between humans because of what the colonel thinks. So the colonel's saying that superiors believe it can be sorted out clinically, medically, and obviously this virus was created medically in a lab. So he's like, humans haven't learned from their past mistakes and stuff. So an interesting motivation. At least you can see where he's coming from, in a way, but obviously he's very evil at the same time. So it's such a powerful scene when the human girl they adopted, she breaks into the base undetected essentially. She goes to Caesar, she sees him in distress. She goes to the other apes and gets food from them, brings the food to Caesar, and then all the apes put their arms up together, like at the same time. I can't do it right now. Apes together strong, and even she did it as well. That was such a powerful damn scene. Rocket had to give himself up to save her to escape back, but still, that was such a good scene. So many amazing scenes in this entire franchise. I love Maurice, man. The scene of naming Nova, and then Bad Ape finds the drain to go up to save the apes, and Maurice is like, "Get on my back, get up there," and he's just like, "What do you mean, get up there?" In his sign language words, because like this Bad Ape doesn't speak sign language, but Maurice does. Maurice just growls, just roars at Bad Ape. He's just like, okay, okay. That scene is so funny, man. Bad Ape is a hilarious character. Whose idea was he? Genius at work. That whole ape prison escape sequence was crazy. Like the coordination and everything, the plan they had. It just, you know, you've already seen how intelligent they are in this whole trilogy, but like that's just another showing of their intelligence. How much brain they've gained since getting the virus. And Woody Harrelson's character, the Colonel, also gets the virus from Nova's teddy bear. She left the teddy bear in Caesar's prison cell, and Woody Harrelson's Colonel, he bloody he caught the virus, he lost his speech, and that was that. And by the time this is going on, the apes have almost escaped. The war has begun. The other humans are here, and now the two human armies are fighting each other. So they're destroying themselves, and Caesar's just trying to save his apes. But also he's ditched them again to try and kill the Colonel. But when he goes up there, which I'm at that scene right now, he realizes that the Colonel is infected, and finally just decides not to kill him because he realizes what's happened to him. Such a crazy way for the final battle to end. Like, they're on this wall that the apes helped build for them to defend the base. They're using that ape that's on their side as well to load up their ammunition. And then they see the apes escaping, and they start shooting some of them. And Caesar decides to try and blow up one of the flammable tanks next to the wall, which is just casually right there next to the wall. And then he gets shot with a crossbow by the man he saved at the start of the film. And then the ape that's been helping the humans turned on the humans and saved Caesar from dying. So you got a few heel and face turns here in wrestling terms. People turning good and bad. It's not the human you think will get a redemption story that actually gets a redemption story. It's only an ape that gets a redemption story. Even though he dies straight away, saves Caesar. Caesar blows up the bridge. The other army wins. Most of the apes escape that are left anyway. Caesar, obviously, he's taken a spear into his body, so this proves to be a big issue for him. I don't think he even told him when he was stabbed, but well, I'm currently watching him leading the apes away, because there was an avalanche as well that even though the other army won, they got destroyed by the avalanche. So yeah, humans literally destroyed each other, but eventually the remaining apes, which are still a lot of them, managed to get to the promised land, and Caesar managed to get them there. It's just a shame that, you know, Blue Eyes couldn't be here. Like, he did witness the place, he did like get to see it, but still there are some characters as well that never saw it, never saw this place. Some characters that deserve to see this place, and it just wasn't to be. So it is what it is. But yeah, I guess 100 years later, I guess it's the same area, same settlement, where we'll see the apes from the new movie. I'm looking forward to that one. I hope it's good. I still don't think it needed another one. The trilogy was perfect, but again, it takes place a long time later, different characters. So it could just be its whole new story, whole new universe, maybe a whole new trilogy. I just hope it's good, because these have been great. These have been levels. Like, every single one has been incredible. At least a 9 out of 10. I'm just worried about, you know, making a new one. But at least because it's a different storyline, I'm at least on board, instead of like a reboot or a remake or a spin-off or whatever. It's like Hollywood loves to do. You know, this sequel happens a long time later, so it might actually work with new characters, and I hope it does. But I don't know if they can ever replicate what they did with Caesar, Maurice, and Cobra. The characters they built, good and bad, over time. Human characters too. It's incredible storytelling. So yeah, big props to the writers, the director, everyone behind this film. Really, it's just. It's a magnificent achievement, you know, not just the story, but also how realistic it looks, and just how good the effects are as well in general, and visually looks amazing. And again, this is just people in suits, and they're turning them into like realistic looking apes that talk. It's an incredible achievement, and on top of that, to have this amazing story, and yeah, it's just a really sad way to end the trilogy. This whole trilogy is sad, but the way it ends is just heartbreaking. But yeah, Caesar got them to their new home, all home now, and Caesar actually got to see it, which is great. He has his final words with Maurice, which I've just seen, and he's looking at what's happened. Like he's finally got the surviving apes to the promised land. He's finally achieved his goal of protecting apes. And Maurice is like, your son will know who you are, who was Caesar, who was father. He says father, not Caesar. But yeah, I assume the apes down the line forgot about Caesar because they seem to be a bit more evil in the new one. But I'm guessing the main character of the new one, it could be a descendant of Caesar, who knows? Because he has, based on the trailers, has similarities to Caesar. Apes will know what Caesar did for us. That's what Maurice said as well. And Caesar's death is the one that hits hardest of them all. The final death, the character we've been with since the very beginning. The very first smart ape. The one that helped him escape, the one that gave him freedom, the one that gave him multiple homes. Even though some apes tried to destroy that, eventually he brought them to a place where they would be safe. And I'd like to think that every ape alive in this end of this film did live a fulfilling life without war or anything. That'd be nice to know. But yeah, what a depressing ending, and what a depressing ending to Caesar as well. Not just the movie, but to the character of Caesar. It is truly unbelievable. It really is truly unbelievable. So yeah, that's quite something. The movie is now over, and that's depressing. I'm now looking forward to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Might not be as sad as this trilogy, but it still looks to be brutal. I just hope it's good. It's just going to be hard to top this trilogy. Doesn't mean it can't be good though. You can't just judge every movie in comparison. Otherwise, you won't like a lot of movies. You got to judge everything on its own merit. And I'll give the new one a chance. I'm excited for it, and I'll definitely watch it. I just hope it's good. I hope it's not like, you know, I just hope it's not, I don't come out with the feeling of, oh, they shouldn't have made this, I knew it, I was right. I hope it's not that. I want to be wrong. I want to be like, yeah, you know what, this was good, this was fab, let's do another sequel. I hope that Kingdom is good. I really hope Kingdom is good. It doesn't have to be as good as this, but I hope it's good. Because they're bringing this franchise back, and I just hope it's the right decision. Because this was so good. Obviously, these were like new. Like this was a reboot of previous movies, but those previous ones weren't that well received. These were really well received, and these are great. So I just hope that the new sequel doesn't ruin everything. But yeah, it shouldn't ruin the story anyway, because it happens, as I said many times, many years later. So it shouldn't ruin the actual story of Caesar and this trilogy. I just hope that this franchise is worth coming back to. I really hope so. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'll rate this movie a 9 out of 10. I gave Dawn 9.5. Rise 9. Yeah, okay, this one a 9.2 then. This one a 9.2. Dawn's still my favourite. Dawn's still my favourite. But they're all above a 9. They're all bloody brilliant. So yeah, bring on the next one. Next up, we're doing another franchise that's upcoming, I think. I was going to do Garfield, and I realized the new one is like animated and maybe not even connected, aside from the fact that it is Garfield. But I've actually got a schedule lined up. We're going to get back on Star Trek soon, but not quite just yet. We will be doing Bad Boys next, followed by A Quiet Place. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and goodbye.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever